Had a quick look at Mitch Trubisky on the sideline, the number 1 pick from North Carolina, who the Bears traded up to get. They have Glennon, and Glennon is not a bad quarterback.
What are you watching, Dick?
Come on, man.
Huh? Come on, tricky Dick. I'm going to tell you something right now. Dick Stockton is
done.
It's past fun. It's like he's dropping gems on you. He thinks they're gems, and then Schlereth was like, "Oh, you wanted me to comment on that nonsense you just said?" It was tough. Get ready for 4 or 5 more Dick appearances as well. By the way, Dick Stockton is if that's the F team, you found the right one, baby.
Our EP is Nick Shepkowski.
I love it. Play a little Smash Mouth down there.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, if you guys are hungry, Arthur Blank wanted to make this stadium fan-friendly by keeping the cost of concessions low. So hot dogs are $2. Sodas are $2 with free refills from soda machines placed around the concourse. Nachos, $3. Popcorn, $2. And Blank mandated that those same prices remain for all events held here, including the College Football National Championship, the Super Bowl, and Final Four when they are here, Al.
Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Blank. I haven't seen, Chris, I haven't seen those prices on a menu since 1974.
Really?
Maybe 83. I don't know.
83.
83. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's John Fox.
How you doing? Really not much change since I addressed some of you yesterday. Pretty much looked the same on tape as it did yesterday at the stadium. Again, I think if you go out there and turn the ball over 4 times in the first half of the game, no matter who you're playing, I think it can tend to look like that. So I'll take any questions. They're still evaluating them. We're kind of in a wait and see. There's all kind of different opinions you get, so we don't have a final analysis quite at this point.
Serious, obviously, though.
Well, I think any injury is serious. The extent of it, I just don't know yet.
What about Sitton?
Same thing. They're still looking at it. It was ribs. We'll keep you updated the minute we know something, and I'm sure we'll release it.
Did anything crop up with Jordan Howard over the last 12, 24 hours?
No, he had a shoulder. I think he got last week.
John, what's your take on Jordan's start to the season? He's banged up a little bit. He seems to have taken a boycott to the media over the last 10 days or so.
I was just made aware of that, actually. So I didn't realize that.
What do you make of his start? How's his state of mind?
Well, I think I'd preface say I don't like our start. That would include everybody. But I'm not seeing an issue. Like I said, I was just made aware of the media thing today. So I'm sure he'll be talking to y'all soon.
Is the shoulder injury something that will have to be monitored going forward?
Not really. I don't think we've done that in the first 2 weeks. I think obviously we're playing different people as well. So I think we're still early in the season before we get too caught up on everything.
John, on Mike's first interception yesterday, he moved the ball pretty well at that point. He told us it was a quick game. I think you guys have practiced a lot. Was he supposed to see something pre-snap, or was he supposed to react right away, or is that just...
Well, I think if you ask Mike, and I'd say the same thing, I think, that's a throw he'd like to have back. Yesterday I said, a lot was made of the quarterback, and the reality is we all had our signature on it. Doesn't mean he wasn't involved at all. I'm sure there was 2 or 3 plays like everybody there, and same with coaches, that you'd like to have back.
But unsolicited, he did that.
So much talk about the quarterback. I'm sure you hear fans want Trubisky in now. Before week 1, you said Glennon gives you the best chance to win. Do you still believe that now?
Well, I think after 2 games, it's really hard to evaluate somebody. I think, in 2 articles, I don't know if you should be fired or kept, off of 2 things. But, the truth of the matter is that, right now, that's the case. And, we're playing,
Skip Bayless.
Probably, arguably one of the better teams we're going to play this year, this week at home. So, we're going to do everything in our power to, look a little bit more like we did in week 1 than week 2. It gives us a chance.
Starting job
Why?
aside,
How? Why and
why
how?
not give Mitch cleanup work in the fourth quarter just to get him on the field?
You know, like what I'd remind everybody is that we have our starting quarterback is 2 games as a Bear, and at the point you're probably talking about is maybe the fourth quarter of that game. You know, all those things are going to be important for him moving forward too. I wish we could play 2 quarterbacks at once, but you know, I don't know that would be our best options.
John, you've had 2 instances in your career where a change of quarterback has actually really helped your team in Carolina and in Denver, Tebow or Oregon. How does that affect how you manage the situation? Not so much maybe today, but as we go further in and then looking down the road.
You know, I think, you know, it's something that isn't, you know, is upstairs we talk about every day. You know, I think, you know, we had a pretty good feel of what we were doing to start with, and we still feel pretty good about that moving forward with Mike being the guy.
Why?
And we'll see where that takes us. You know, I can't predict the future. I don't think anybody here can. If you did, you'd be in another line of work. But, you know, Mike Glennon will be our starting quarterback against Pittsburgh.
Why?
We're going to do everything we can to get him prepared, and you know, not just Mike Glennon, our whole football team.
And again, based on the previous experience, you know, the quarterback is just one guy, but it seems like in both these previous instances, you saw that a quarterback can have an effect on the entire team, like giving them a spark and stuff like that. I mean, that eventually becomes a factor.
Well, every experience or every situation is unique. You know, going back to Carolina, it was a tough call on what we were going to do to start the season. I think in Denver, it was probably week 6 when we made a change. So pretty close. Well, we're being picky. I think. Sorry. Sorry. I was off one. But anyways, you know, I think everything's unique. I mean, I don't want to get into hypotheticals. I can't compare, you know, those teams. They're completely different teams, you know. So, you know, we're marching forward to where we are right now.
Whenever you guys do make a change, sooner or later, whatever, will that be a function of how Mitch is playing in practice or how Mike is playing in games?
You know, I don't want to get into all the hypotheticals.
It's not a
I just keep it
hypothetical.
Fairly clean. You know, same thing with the injuries as well.
So, John, as the organization continues to develop Mitch Trubisky in practice, what are some of the pitfalls you guys are mindful of when it comes to potentially playing him before he's ready, so to speak?
Well, I don't know that anybody has a crystal ball when that is. You know I don't, and I'm here every day.
You're the coach.
My man. Watch him in practice and on video. And,
Got his Gregory Hines
you know,
shoes
right
on
now
all
we're
day,
just trying to
boy.
develop really 3 quarterbacks, really 2 primarily, and that's Mike, you know, and Mitchell, and just because they've never been with us before. Like I said, we're, you know, just completed the 2nd game of a 16-game regular season schedule.
Challenge! I challenge you to tap dance better than that.
That you would be concerned about playing a rookie quarterback before he's ready? Is it, you know, a confidence thing? Is it a, you know, developmental issue?
It's a job thing.
What's the trade-off?
I think you just kind of know when it's time. You know.
How will you know?
You know, again, you can't measure it all exactly the same because people are all different.
How do you know? You just feel it?
There
How
it
do
is.
I know
Yeah,
what?
you said you just know.
There it is.
How do you?
Well, I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean, there's a lot
You're
of
the
people
coach.
evaluating the situation, and like I said, I'm not trying to predict the future.
Obviously, we're not watching practice anymore. How's it been going for
Right.
Mitch in his time, you know, working with the scout team out here, and the differences between when you were in a preseason format?
You know, I love where he is. I love his growth. You know, I think the guy works at it very hard. He's into it on game day. You know, he's into it because you know you're one play away from being a starter like any backup. It doesn't matter the position. You know, you have to prepare like, you know, you're one play away. So I like it. I like where he is, and I like his development.
You talk about Glennon and the upside there, and that's something Ryan obviously talked about when he made the signing. Where do you see Mike ascend? What signs do you feel like where he is, you know, even though the sample size is relatively small, that he's going to track upward?
Well, I think, you know, he makes good decisions. He works.
Oh my gosh!
tirelessly in
Said he
preparation.
doesn't.
You know, he works super hard. I think it's evident to his teammates.
So does the custodian.
You know, what you'd expect from a starting quarterback. You know, like I said before,
It's to be better.
It's his 2nd game. You know, preparing now for our 3rd game.
And next week will be his 3rd game. And after that, the 4th.
this week?
Directly to the fifth, maybe.
Well, I mean, again, right now, our margin for error is not huge, especially with some of the opponents we're
and you're
playing.
a bad coach.
I'd
And you
remind
don't
everybody,
do anything for a living.
two of those
You
last four
steal
passes
money.
last week
You have
we
a
were
giant
classified
ski
as
mask
drops.
on. You did it at the
we
end of
had
your
6
Denver run.
drops yesterday.
You're doing it now. I see through you. And I know you hear me, tiny
we
white
need to get
man.
better as a football team.
You're not good
not
at your
just
job.
John, I actually want to ask about the drops before you brought that up.
Okay.
We know it's hard. and
He's
you're not
pretending
doing
he
it
can't
for
hear you.
a coaching perspective, but
I don't know
how do you
why.
approach the correction on that?
Well, it's just, focus and concentration. I think in a couple of cases, whether it was last week or this week,
Being bad.
trying to run with it before
Players
you
can't
catch it.
concentrate when they're thinking about the unemployment checks they're going to have to
take
get
their-
next year when
focus
no
off
one
the
else in the
ball.
NFL signs them.
I'd liken it to those
But
of you
you
that play
love
golf,
them.
when you
Because you
shake
love
one.
bums.
It's just
You're
you got
a
to stay
bum.
focused. It's a very mental game, even though it's a very
You'll
physical
always
game.
be a bum.
And
And even worse, you're an old
better at
bum.
it. And we've had a lot of guys rotate through there in a short period of time.
All rotations,
So again,
thoughts,
it's
crystal
some of those
balls,
guys' first game
crystal
too,
ball
So
Huey.
it's
Doesn't matter.
something we'll continue to work
You're
on.
bad
That's
at your
all- all
job.
part of what we're trying to accomplish.
Put the
is
mic
improve.
down and walk away now. There it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Oh, hey, listen to you.
312-644-6767 is the phone number. You just heard from
makes
your
good decisions.
fearless leader, John Fox. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last 2 years, I thought I was being hard on this man, but you know what? I haven't been hard enough. I have no idea what he does. Even Mark Trestman, delighted you with offensive things that first year before he got his ass kicked. This guy, no idea. This will be the third straight season that he starts 0-3. He loves being bad at the beginning of Bears seasons. This is no different. You tell me, in a city that couldn't wait to get Lovie Smith and Mark Trestman and all these other bums, Phil Emery, all these dudes, couldn't wait to get them out of here. What does this guy do? I'm tired of asking it every week. I asked it all year last year. I've asked it the first 2 weeks this year. And injuries, guess what? Everybody gets hurt in football, all right? But when you tell me what John Fox does to rally the troops, what does he do?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. You got to take your ski mask off first so you can answer the question so it won't be muffled. What does he do? What does this team do? I don't even know why I feel this way because I knew they were going to be bad. But guess what? If you're going to be bad, entertain me. It was my Sox theory before they rebuilt, right, Danny? I was like, hit home runs.
This is the problem. Do you ever hear Bill Belichick or Greg Popovich say, I don't know. I can't predict the future. I don't know.
No, they don't globalize things because they're good at their job and they rely on their talent.
Or he hides behind something. Look, if all I know is when I used to deal with these guys every day for a living, a hypothetical, a question. Not all questions are hypotheticals.
Yeah, very specific.
It's a specific, real question.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Right.
When do you envision him playing? I'm not going to answer a hypothetical. That's not a hypothetical.
And ladies and gentlemen, when they can't answer the questions that you ask them, and they're very straightforward questions, they're very easy questions to ask, that means there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of doubt, not only because sometimes we project as people in this industry, as fans of a team, we project onto team. Not sometimes, a lot of the time. But guess what? This is milling around that building, too. When Deion Sims looks right into a tape recorder and says, hey, by the way, we weren't on the same page. I'll just leave it at that. When you hear we weren't on the same page by two new guys, who do you think it's on?
That's also when you can't then countenance all the discussion of how John Fox is a culture builder, right? Because they always say, well, what does he do? Well, he builds culture. Well, he hasn't built a winning culture in 3 years.
Nothing against him, but he's 9-25 now as the Bears head coach. This wouldn't rock in any other major market. It wouldn't. The softballs, the lobbing them up to him. I'm glad this crew turned on him because for 2 years he's carried himself like he's running the New England damn Patriots here. We're gonna build a different culture and get the really good football players out of here without ever, like Mully said, without ever replacing them. We're gonna get the really good football players out of here because we're building a culture. The culture has consisted of you getting your ass kicked regularly every Sunday, sometimes on Thursdays, sometimes on Mondays.
Bears Monday on the Score.
Yeah, I'm ready if you're ready, my man, because I don't think it's going to get a whole hell of a lot more pleasant.
Bears Monday starts in Racine, Wisconsin with Lee on the Score.
Hey, thanks, guys, for hearing me. First of all, I don't really blame the defense that much. especially because they did keep us in the game against Atlanta. Now, when the offense turns the ball over as many times as they did yesterday, that is pathetic. Glennon, a quarterback? Really?
Thanks, Lee. Here's Chris in Bensonville on WSCR.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I was going to say, even if Tribinsky starts, knowing Fox's coaching skills, he'll probably...
Who the hell is he?
Who? Oh, well, I'm saying Fox will probably start him at linebacker.
Who's it? No, who you want to start though? Yeah,
we got one. We first mentioned and
Tribinsky.
We got our Trubisky.
This is
Portage Park. This is Janet on the score.
Worse than the game.
Hi, fellas. I've been listening to you while I've been waiting. You're very entertaining when you're frustrated.
Well, we don't like being frustrated,
no
Janet.
fun for
Come
us,
on.
Janet.
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well, but I just wanted to sum up the Bears and the press conference of John Fox that my husband had an expression that I think he borrowed from MASH, but he used to always say, the operation was a success, but the patient died.
Janet,
I don't really know how that
yeah,
applies.
you enjoy the rest of your afternoon, sweetheart. Janet from Portage Park, everybody. All right, we'll continue this on the other side of the shoe.
Outstanding.
Bears Monday.
Outstanding. That could not have gone better.
Where's Virgil?
This is going great. You, Phil in Des Moines. Welcome to Bears Monday on the score.
Cello. Philly.
Phil, go.
Hello?
Phil.
Yeah, Phil. Third time. Third chance. Here we go.
Sorry, my fault.
Yes, it's your fault.
Okay, so Bears, not a Bears fan here, Niner fan, but I'm just going to give my 2 cents, all right?
Actually not.
There it is.
Bob on the south side, you're on the score. Hi, Bob.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. With the Fox thing with this quarterback controversy, you've heard for a while now that he's been difficult to work with and that he was, even on draft day, they said he was miffed that no one ran it by him, that they traded up to get this kid.
Forgot about that.
It just seems like for whatever reason he's made it the choice between starting Trubisky and him. It seems like for whatever reason to leave that bum out there when Trubisky we saw was good at the things Glennon is awful at, and he needs to work on a lot of stuff. And if you as a coach can't sit there and say, okay, let me work on this kid, then you don't belong coaching.
Well, Bob, even if he isn't good at some of the things that Mike Glennon is good at, I don't want to see Mike Glennon anymore. I'm good on the Mike Glennon thing. Like people are trying to twist this in so many different directions and angles.
It's only 2 games for him too. Right. That's plenty.
Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is like, yes, that's enough. We'll appreciate you. Is Jameis though? Like it's fine. Mike Glennon. I'm sure his family loves him. I'm sure he loves his family. He's got a lot of dough in his pocket right now. It's not about what Mitchell is to what he is. I'm just tired of seeing him. Even in the near win, because we have to count those now. Even in the near win, I'm good.
This is what Stonecutter says. If Glennon's grasp of the offense is so tenuous that he needs to be in the fourth quarter of a game when you're getting your teeth kicked in, to get accustomed to the offense, you cannot then suggest he's playing because he makes good decisions. Either you make good decisions or you need more time with the offense. Which is it?
Very simple.
Riverside, this is Joey on the score. What's up, Joey?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Joey!
Fine.
Hey, so I just wanted to kind of touch again on the quarterback thing. I understand the whole, don't throw him to the wolves kind of
I don't.
approach. No, I mean, I don't either. But I get, like, when people say that, I'm like, okay. But anyway, I just want to think about all these quarterbacks in the past few years between, Mariota, Winston, Carr, all these, even Wentz this past year, all these guys drafted to be the guy. And, they, quote-unquote, being thrown to the wolves, also on teams that weren't necessarily established. They've been kind of rebuilding themselves as well.
Yeah, because the teams trusted them to play because they trusted the guy they picked, and they wanted to get closer to winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I just can't stand seeing that here. I mean, they trade up to get Trubisky, and when you do that, especially number 2, I know you guys said it a million times. This is
all right, Joey. We only need to say it a million in one time.
Gregor in Rockford, you're on the score.
Gregor.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, just first of all, I hope a couple owners want to buy a football team because they may bring a winner in here.
Tough start.
I know that won't happen.
Yeah.
Second of all, listen to John Fox this morning on the Score.
With us.
I don't know if he thinks that all of us Bear fans are naive or stupid, or we just believe everything he says.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what he was talking about, and, we got to get the run game going, but how are you going to get a run game going when your quarterback will not throw over 5-10 yards? You got 8 guys in the box, and he doesn't. We're sitting here watching the game, and my girlfriend, who don't know nothing about football, Dawn, she's like, "Boy, he just stares these guys down left and right."
Well, Gregor, let's delve into the meat of this conversation, so to speak. Here, how old a man are you?
Me, I'm 63. Been a Bear fan my whole life.
How old's your girlfriend?
She is 58.
Oh, there you go, Gregor. I see you. Hey, man, turn the game off, man. Turn some Teddy Pendergrass on or some Freddie Jackson or something. Have a good time with your lady, man. Don't let the Bears ruin your Sunday afternoon.
No. Actually, I watched Miami with Cutler and the coach we should have had with Adam Gase.
Stop forcing your girlfriend to watch Bears football with you. That's what I'm saying, Gregor. Enjoy the sights of Rockford on a Sunday afternoon, man.
Oh, she wasn't. She just came down, and it's not even worth yelling at the screen anymore because it's like you guys were saying. I'm sure Glennon's a great guy, but he does not check anything down.
All right.
Everybody says.
Gregor, what's your girlfriend's name?
I think Dawn.
Dawn?
Say
All
hi to
right,
Dawn
Greg,
for
say
us.
yes. Tell Dawn we said what's up.
Yeah, thanks, Gregor.
Be easy, Gregor. It's Gregor Blanco. He's in witness protection.
Yeah, the first rule of witness protection is call the score.
Say you live in Rockford, completely lose your...
Give out your girlfriend's name, give out your age.
Completely lose your accent. You're doing a good job, Gregor Blanco.
And all it is egg noodles with some ketchup. Kenny in Dixon, you're on the Score.
Yeah, my point is this. Everybody's coming up with the excuse that Trubisky only played 13 games in college. Well, I watched all 13 games.
No, you didn't.
Last year, he threw for over 4,000 yards.
Yeah, you got the stats.
In college. And then John Fox said today on your guys' show in his press conference that he said that Mike Glennon is making a good decision maker. Well, obviously, in two.
Shut it down.
Yeah, you know what? This has been fun. We'd like to thank our video coordinator Brian Gertz. I'd like to thank Nick Shepkowski for putting up these glorious calls. And Chris Tannehill for not putting more drops in between these calls. Everybody did an awful job today, including myself. I'm going to point at myself first. I was born with thumbs. And Dan was just Dan today. We'd like to thank you. Lawrence Holmes is coming up next from 3 to about...
And then Cubs baseball.
Yeah,
we're going to add a Cubs
6:30.
game, too.
Yeah. Lawrence is probably on the treadmill like, what the hell is going on right now? Mitch didn't tell me anything. Yeah, we're out of here. We're going to go... we got Jewish holidays starting today.
we got like 3 minutes left of the segment. Yeah. We're not even out of the segment yet.
But it'd be bad if we got a good one now. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm always up for Middletown, Ohio. Here's Tom on the Score.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. Couldn't be better.
We're Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, I'm calling from a long way away, I know. Hey, the Bears.
Phones work that way.
Mike Glennon was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they said he sat and watched. He had a few starts. But then I listened to Fox today, and he said he's only had 2 starts with us. I heard Jim Miller come on your show and say he's had only so many starts to give him time. Why are we the only team in the NFL, probably in the history of the NFL, that's developing a starting quarterback and a backup quarterback at the same time?
You know what? I love
That's
Tom.
a great
love
call.
the way you phrase it.
It's a great call.
I love the way you stripped it down and phrased
dropped a
that.
gem on us just now, Tom.
Developing a starting quarterback and a backup quarterback at the same time.
And Tom's seen some football because he lives in Middletown, Ohio, which
they make
there's
you
nothing but football.
Oh, and every Friday night they pin your eyes open.
And the Amish as well.
Amish football? You are looking live.
Hezekiah Jenkins runs a 5.64 40.
That's when the recruiting gets weird.
Yeah.
Your name is... it's already Ezekiel? Perfect. This is perfect.
And I don't hit people like the colored fella, dude.
Just grow your beard out.
You got him on Bourbon Street pulling down people's shirts. Hezekiah, cut it out.
Knock it off.
School of barn raising.
That's his intro.
Dude.
Hezekiah Jamal Jenkins. Fresh off a horse's ass, Ohio.
Butter churning you.
That's the fastest Amish person I've ever seen.
Oh, Lord.
He's so sudden and explosive.
They called him Suspenders.
Jesus. Kurt and Elgin, welcome to the Score.
Doing?
Hi, Kurt.
Oh!
Hey guys, I want to maybe you can explain something to me or clarify. What is Mark Sanchez's role on this team?
Third string quarterback.
And Honey Bagger.
What kind of salaries do you have? What kind of contract does he have? I mean, how many?
He's on a 1-year contract at a very, very low rate. Why you should? Does that bother you? I mean, he makes third string quarterback money, and he's the third string quarterback.
I was just curious as to what his role was.
He's the third string quarterback.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, were you otherwise concerned?
Is he taking someone's job, Kurt?
No, I just didn't know what kind of money they were paying him.
They're paying him third string quarterback money.
Yeah.
Well, you're clarifying that, and I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your day, Kurt. Get to
that.
Get to comb Akeem Hicks' beard. Get to just
Sag machine.
Right, you get to brush his beard, that big old beard that he's growing. I went to Cubs Cards on Friday. That was his thing, man.
It's a good weekend of baseball for them, man.
John Lackey and Wilson Contreras showing that ass. Put it on the glass. I look down and all of a sudden I see this big cowboy charging home plate.
He got thrown out during the play.
Yes.
So I get an email from a friend of mine, from a media writer who says, "What's the rule on that? Is he allowed, if the ball were to get away, is he allowed to field it?" I said, "I think so. I don't know the exact rule." So I text Jason Benetti.
Of course you did.
And not 30 seconds later, Benetti texts me the exact quote
article
from the rule book, with the annotation and all that. And I zap it over to my buddy, and he's like, "How did you get that so fast?" No, it wasn't me.
People in high places.
It wasn't me. It was somebody with a little more facility than I.
Somebody told Wilson that they are out as spicy 2-pieces in the clubhouse, and he just went crazy as well. Dude, I thought he hit the ump. From where I was sitting, I'm like, did he just?
Well, the mask did.
But I thought he threw it at him. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is gonna be bad.
No, he went plumb loco.
Yeah,
though,
dude,
didn't
it
he?
was
Yep.
that the whole Cubs Cards thing in the stands too. It's the right amount of weird.
And I loved Dexter Fowler's reaction to his home run
he got
too.
it. Yeah.
No, he did. No, not at the end. I'm talking about when he actually hit the home run.
Okay, all right.
I love Dexter Fowler. I'm just going to say
he's a joyful dude.
I am a huge fan of Dexter Fowler. Even when he's playing for the other team, I can easily be happy when he's happy.
His Instagram is full of fun too. It's always him playing with the shorties or messing around, getting Jordan shipments.
Right.
When we had the Del Frisco's luncheon with him, he was super cool.
He's great.
Hung out with people afterwards as well. And Dex is one of those good dudes in sports.
And I first saw him when he was on the Rockies, and we went to their last ever spring training that happened to be in Tucson, and there was nobody there.
He was the small forward playing center field.
There was nobody there, and there were maybe 6 fans there.
Okay.
So, and my son was 5 at the time, so everybody wanted to give him a baseball. I'm like, you have enough baseballs now.
Right.
It's enough.
He's being weighed down.
Right.
It's like the guy who catches all the punts. He can catch
right.
He catch 12 punts.
Pac-Man
with
Jones.
The
Right. Stop giving this kid baseballs.
Jason's catching baseballs with other baseballs.
Sparta, Wisconsin. It's our old buddy Virgil on the Score.
Virgil.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
You made it through another week, brother. How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I watched that game yesterday.
Why are you continuing to watch Bears football if you hate the team?
Hey, I'm a fair-weathered fan. If they start winning, I'm going to give me a Bears jacket.
All right, I got you.
I kind of wanted them to win, but I was looking at it. I didn't see. I tried to say, okay, let me look at my crystal ball and see what I can see since the coach didn't have one, so I pulled mine out. I see 3-13, man. Because at the quarterback position, man, at what point are they going to say this guy's reach diminishing returns? And by the time they throw the rookie out there, Tribinsky is going to be too late. And it's just like one of you guys said, I think he's going to get hurt, and then the season's over. The receivers weren't catching the ball. Nothing was going right yesterday.
Hey,
but
Virgil, you're bearing the lead, though. What about that fresh can of ass wax that your boys got last night on Sunday Night Football?
I knew you were going to say
Yeah. Live and direct and in living color right there in the town. Ooh-wee. They caught Don Capers, my friend. He's running out of people to put on Julio Jones at this point.
I was gonna say that's one thing that was positive about last night. The Bears played the Falcons a lot closer than we did.
Yeah,
a lot closer. So I think when that game comes up, they're going to be fired up and they're going to think about the same thing. It's psychological.
All right.
But if those receivers aren't catching the ball, man, it was hitting them right. They need to stick them from the old school. But you could have put any quarterback in there, and those guys were missing those balls like that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to evaluate the quarterback. I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Virgil.
Good to talk to you, man. It's hard to evaluate the quarterback when you've got Deontay Thompson and Josh Bellamy. Like, I'm telling you, the ratio of swag to bad.
One of the most annoying athletes in Chicago history.
Like he's doing the Antonio Brown ball drop on first downs and stuff. Like it's like somebody in his crew has to be like, hey, Josh, you know you're not that good.
At least Nick Swisher would have some, had
a home run every once in a while.
Little bit of, but
some game. Yeah, Nick was all right.
Josh Bellamy's there with Cameron Payne with like the Anthony Morrow dancing stuff.
I have
right?
no idea who told Josh Bellamy he was good.
He wouldn't be on any other team, would he?
He's a good special teams player.
Okay,
he's good. Yeah, he makes tackles. He's a pretty good gunner. But yeah. And Kendall Wright's just like happy to be there.
Oh, I dropped it again.
Dude,
I catch most of them.
And Zach didn't look very interested in that second half. Like there's a couple of the balls that got fit into some very tight places, and the linebacker kind of won. I think twice.
Beat me again.
Yeah, you got me. Made it through another game though.
It's the Quentin Debs tackling program though, right?
He got into the backfield twice and was like, I'm here. That means that we won the play.
Hello.
Right. Like,
great success.
It was bad. But I had great brunch. So I was happy with that. I was watching the second half, surrounded by so many things, so many fruit compliments. Not compliments from fruits, but fruit compliments and omelets and pulled pork sandwiches without the slaw. I had brisket, barbecue brisket, and ribs and everything. That's right funny. There for you.
That's like the old joke. The guy goes into a bar and he's the only guy in there. It's really quiet, and he hears, "Hey, I like your shirt." And he looks around. He's like, "What? Where the hell did that come from? What's going on here?" And then he looks up again and he says, "I really like your hair." He's like, "What? What is it? Where's it? I can't." No one else is in there. And he says to the bartender, and he's like, "Hey, do you hear something?" He goes, "Yeah, it's the peanuts. They're complimentary." Ed and Schaumburg, you're on the score.
Yeah, hey, good afternoon, guys. Hey, you were talking earlier about that coaching list of Ryan Pace's. I'm just wondering, what are the chances of John Gruden's name being on there?
Hey, it's on my list. Ed, I'm in.
What names would you like to put on the list, Ed?
That's it.
Okay, one man. Ed's got one name.
He doesn't even have a list. He's Hawk.
I'll tell you what.
That was Hawk from Schaumburg right there. Yeah.
Best I've ever seen about being the only name on the list.
Well, we got to find out who those hot coordinators are.
Nah, I'd take Jim Harbaugh. I'd take John.
You don't want Jim Harbaugh now.
Yes, for entertainment purposes. It's the perfect time. That thing's run its course.
Jimmy. Jimmy. You're playing Air Force like that. Air Force for real. Like, I don't, you got to find, because Sean Payton's going to come here and he's going to be swinging the big Payton stick, if you know what I mean. That's the guy you hire, and then you find out that he fired you.
If Ryan Pace hires him, his personnel supremacy is done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, he's gonna pat him on the ass on the way out of the draft room. Like, thank you. Can we get us some coffee, maybe some bagels? We've got this from here. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you. Yeah, they're gonna go hot coordinator. You got to.
Pensacola, Florida. This is Chance. He's on the score.
How you doing, man?
Chance, how you guys doing down there?
Oh, doing okay.
Okay.
Doing okay.
Good to hear, man.
Thanks for asking.
No problem.
I was up there this weekend. I used to live up in Glenview and was turned on the TV last night, was watching Hampton. My brother went to the University of Arkansas, and Dan Hampton's always been Hampton and Steve Atwater, always two of my favorite athletes. And in Hampton, I love the way he rolls his eyes. I didn't see the game yesterday, but Hampton was watching on one of the post-game shows last night, or flew back down here this morning. he made a comment about, how much of a
and then there was Chicago's Dan Hampton, the manimal.
There you go. How much of a statue he is in the pocket, and how the schemes that they're going to face from here on out, they're just going to they're going to unleash the dogs and come after them, and it's going to be just watching a rush free or whatever you want to call it, just constant rushes or rush schemes are going to be coming after them. But what I wanted to just comment on a little bit about, or just to mention as well, is that as far as the coach and what he's saying about the players, and I think Hampton even commented on that.
Okay, thanks, Chance. Jason's hiding under the table. He's taking like disaster precautions now. This is like a 1952 A-bomb drill.
I'm good.
Duck and cover.
I'm good.
Okay, Jason's going to spend the rest of the show under the desk.
Yep.
You all right?
No.
Can I bring you some food?
I'm all right.
Okay. If Z-Pack hasn't taken all the pork rinds out of the vending machine, I could get you some.
This sucks.
Well, because you're on the floor, man.
No, this whole thing today.
It's okay.
This sucks.
All right.
Teddy, make it funny for me. Please?
This segment is brought to you by TheraWorks Relief. To relieve muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This fast-acting foam is clinically proven to relieve leg and foot cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today at TheraWorksRelief.com. If you're watching...
Everything is terrible!
At watch670thescore.com or on Facebook Live, I'm not lying. He's under the table for the foreseeable future. He just... Why'd you take your mic muff off?
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm leaving.
And you can't live at the viaduct on Wilson and Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, the Tent City has been disbanded.
Right, so
Yeah.
maybe they're going to move in. Don't lose the intensity.
Jesus Christ. Really?
That's before they moved him out of there. They came over, they said, "You've been living with great intensity."
Can today be like a black holiday and I leave at 4?
That's what I'm doing Wednesday. I should have done that today.
Can I leave before sundown today?
Only if you're going to turn into a werewolf.
That's fine.
And then we'll throw Trubisky to the wolves.
This sucks, man. This is no good. I hate today. I hate John Fox.
I've never seen this before.
And I hate the Bears.
2 decades of doing this, I've never had a co-host try to hide under the desk mid-show.
When do the Hawks start?
Soon.
Tuesday, right?
I think so, yeah. We're already getting all of the newspaper stories about, hey, here's a guy, he's kind of good, and you'll like him.
Do we have to talk about the Bears next segment?
Yes, it's Bears Monday. We're going to keep talking about the Bears.
All right.
Go Blackhawks.
On the score.
You got to play your guy. It's plain and simple. I mean, and that's a tough one for John Fox and where he is right now. But when you move up to do the things that you had to do to get Mitch Trubisky, he's learning nothing from the sideline. Nothing. And you should take the example of Jared Goff in L.A. You don't wait till 3/4 of the season. You wait till half the season. So basically what we're saying is let's wait and lose enough before we put the rookie in, unless you really think Mike Glennon is the answer. And if you really think Mike Glennon is the answer, why did you take...
What's the question?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what question Mike Glennon is the positive answer.
Yeah, you're just waiting for failure, and that's a tough one. And I don't mean to be critical of Mike Glennon because he's a capable quarterback.
Right.
But you made the evaluation, the analysis as an organization that Mitch Trubisky was a first overall pick. That's being a first pick is one thing. First overall, that's heady stuff. And that you have to stand on your soapbox as an organization and say, we believe this. And you got to go sell your owner that this is what we believe in. If you think you're that bad that he's going to become David Carr and just get deluged and can't perform, then that's a whole other set of issues.
I was going to ask you about the circumstances because we see Deshaun Watson's going to get that look, and Deshaun Kaiser in Cleveland, which they put some money into that offensive line, but it's Cleveland at that. Like I look at the situations with 2 guys who went after him and one far after him, and then I think to myself, how bad is the situation, or what are we waiting on? But then I get shouted down by Mike Glennon's capable player, as you mentioned.
Mike Glennon is a capable player. Brian Hoyer is a capable player. Tom Savage is a capable player. There's a lot of capable players that aren't going to win it for you. And if you put your assets in that high on a quarterback, you got to develop him, and there's only one way to develop him, and that's to play him. Unless you think his emotional makeup, his maturity, what's around him, that he's not going to have any chance to mature and get better. And if that's the case, then you got to go back and look at your evaluation process.
Pretty simple to me. I don't know how you argue against that.
Mike and Rockford, you're on the score. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Dan, how you guys doing? I know you guys. Dan, I know, Dan. I'm not going to make it stupid, I promise. But here's the question I have. All right, listen. If their goal at the end of the year, if they have a bad season, which obviously they're going to have, if they are horrible, and they fire everybody, where is this defense going to go?
They're firing Fox.
Right. If they're firing Fox, he's going to bring all his guys in, whoever's the next coach, okay? So they're going to start everything all over again, and then Trubisky's going to learn a whole new system after a first year of sitting on the bench or playing half a year. What's this going to do to him?
He'll learn a new system. What do you mean do to him?
Well,
so you don't want to play him so he won't learn something?
No. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you get the guy, and the whole idea of having him, you bring him on, he sits on the bench, he sits and he learns the plays.
What is he learning, though?
No, he's got to play. He's not going to learn anything by not playing.
No. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying, though, if they bring a whole new coaching system, this is what destructed Cutler, in a sense. What do you think about it?
Destroyed?
Well, this is the thing. You think that Mitchell Trubisky is going to have one OC his entire career?
And Jay Cutler could pick up a playbook overnight.
Yeah, he's one of the smarter dudes who's played the position this generation.
Jay Cutler was bad because he threw too many picks, not because he couldn't understand an offense.
But let me ask you this, Dan. Do you think, though, seriously, if Jay Cutler, I know we're not talking about him, but if you look at what they did to him,
who did what to him?
The organization, the Bears organization, screwed around with him. He had 4, 5 offensive coordinators.
That was partly his doing, too.
Yeah,
man.
Again, if he wouldn't have had those coordinators, if he had taken better care of the ball.
But they also didn't do any disservice when they did the disservice to him when they had nobody for him to throw to.
All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Back under the table I go.
All I'm saying, Dan, is that
you said 15 different things and veered off course 3 times already.
I'm trying to say this in a quick way because we don't have a lot of time here.
It's not quick. It's been very long.
Okay, what I'm saying is if he gets under this system, and we know that Pace is going to be around, even if Fox is gone, Pace is going to probably be here for 2 or 3 more years.
So you're not playing a guy because
wait a second. So you don't want to play a guy because you might change coaches?
Awesome.
No. I'm not saying not to play the guy.
Then what are you saying?
What is this going to do to him?
It's going to give him playing experience.
Right. He's going to get reps, live bullets, wolves, all the things that people want to mention.
Okay, but playing him this year, guys, I see the argument on both sides. But if the guy's going to go out there and get killed, and we're going to have another Rex Grossman.
Why do you reach to compare him to other Bear quarterbacks?
He's nothing.
Forget that. He has nothing to do with Rex Grossman. You said this wasn't going to be stupid. Stop lying.
You're lying. You so lying.
Every time that guy calls, it sucks.
I heard it in your voice as soon as you pressed it.
For years.
Why is he still here?
I don't know. No matter what the subject is. It's just every single call. As soon as I hear that voice, something happens to my stomach because I know he's going to make everybody dumber.
He's one of the pod people.
I'm going to take a call from a Bob to wash the taste of that out. So nothing. It's like a radio breath mint. Mentos. Bob is the fresh maker. He's on the score. Hi, Bob.
Love the show. Hi, guys.
Hey, Bob.
So a similar narrative happened in Oakland a few years ago with Derek Carr, which he had a poor offensive line, no receivers, new coaching staff, and they threw him in.
You mean
to
David
the fire,
Carr?
and look what happened. So that's the argument against that side.
Okay.
We've seen it work out in Oakland.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you're the guy, you're the guy.
Right. If you're good, you're good.
Exactly. So, now my question to you guys is: with John Fox, is this his doing to keep Glennon and not play Trubisky at any cost? Because I just see it as saving his own arse to put Trubisky in. What does he have to gain by keeping Glennon in when he's potentially going to get fired?
Doesn't matter what he has to gain. Doesn't matter. Ryan Pace, if you got to push that button, you got to push that button.
Yeah, no, but I think the point was what Danny was saying during transition, is what Bob was saying, is that in a weird way, Fox might be in a better position to say, hey, I'm playing a rookie quarterback.
You're never going to convince
he's fired anyway.
a guy that this old And this guy he's stuck in his ways.
That's
You're
what
never
I
going
said.
to convince
That's
this
what
guy.
I said to Danny. He's not wired that way.
No, he thinks youth means mistakes, especially at the quarterback position. And he might be right, but I don't care about his fate anymore. I'm a Bears fan. I want to see the guy that they surmised was the best quarterback prospect in the draft, along with Patrick Mahomes, along with Deshaun Watson, along with all these other guys. They said this is the best one in this draft. And to hell with next year's draft, by the way. To hell with Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Mason Rudolph, all those dudes. To hell with them. Josh Allen, all of them. Lamar Jackson, to hell with them. This is the best guy in the next 2 drafts. That's what they told Bears fans.
But they prefer to play Mike Glennon.
It's Corey Blunt.
Greg,
Corey Blunt is Dickie Simpkins in a football uniform.
Greg and Waukegan, you're on the score.
All right, my question is, Kaepernick would have been so much better for this offense because at least he has some mobility.
Okay.
Won't get
there it is.
So you're saying instead of Glennon?
It's in the air.
I mean, I lost a lot of friends because of
Greg, how many times have you floated this to your friends and to the people on the chat and people that you texted? How many times have you been like, hey, Bears should have signed Kaepernick?
We don't watch the football games no more at nobody's house, so that's done. But my thing is, I mean, you spent $18 million, and you probably could have got Kaepernick for what, $5 million? I mean, come on.
Well,
man.
Greg, it's a league-wide mandate. Right. Yeah, the Bears aren't going to Bears aren't going to step out of line. The league has been told to stay away from the young man with these crazy opinions
and his frightening hair. The 815 says, Dan, you just agreed with a Bob. Are you okay?
No, nothing's okay.
I'm not. I'm all right.
Nothing's okay.
I'm good.
Dude, Bears Mondays are weird because they don't win, and then we talk about them as if we thought they should have won, or when they don't win and we know they shouldn't have won, we kind of try to figure out why they didn't win, even though we didn't think they were going to win. Like this is third level of football inception that I'm not prepared for. I hate them right now, and I hate my relationship with them.
Now you're on to something, right?
I'm going to put my feet up and get on the couch here. If you are like me and you saw – I'm 36 years old, going to be 37 on November 8th. Last birthday wasn't too much fun. This year I hope to have a little bit more fun on that day. We were in the hospital, too. Because we had a hospital visit with Jay. Yeah, we were in the hospital for like 3 days, and we sat there and we watched the world burn while we were waiting for our kid. But I'm 36, and if anybody else is
a white supremacist president isn't a good birthday gift.
Oh, Jamel Bernstein over
it's
here,
not,
ladies and gentlemen. No, but seriously though, I want 36 and under people to hear me on this. My relationship with this team since I was a kid has been one of losing, kinda, right? I mean, 87 is when I really started to feel myself as a Bears fan. Okay. 86, 87. So you still got a badass team, but your coach is shooting commercials and taking endorsements from players. All right. Fast forward, they got Neil Anderson to root for, and Jim Harbaugh. There's some NFC Central, first place finishes in there. I'm watching
the Cap Bozo game.
Yes,
yep,
yes.
Yep.
I'm watching. the coach's show with Mike and Johnny Morris and dudes who are happy that Mike has spit on them and their hair is growing back because Mike spit on them. And then the dark ages, like after Mike. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we really talking? Like, we make a lot of fun of the Cleveland Browns play.
You had the Big Geron year.
Yeah, the Big Geron year where the turnovers happened. Fred Baxter and Jim Miller's tossing the pill around, right? And then you got Lovey.
You had the Super Bowl.
You had the Super Bowl. Cool. But people grew weary of Lovey because his demeanor and all of this stuff. I didn't ever see a team quit on Lovey. And now that I think about it, I don't really think I saw a team that I expected more out of that underperformed under Lovey. But for a very long time now, it's been one-offs and feeling like you didn't feel right about your squad. And
Dr. Death.
These last 3 years, I don't know if Dan Pompei, I think, might have mentioned it. Think about these last 3 or 4 years as a Bears fan. There is no making fun of the Jets and the Browns and all the. You are it. You are it. The Jay Cutler thing was a little cloud cover because you can fling your arrows at a guy who did not give a damn about him.
But that's why we have to wait for the time is right to put Mitchell Trubisky out there. There's no right time when you suck. There's no ideal time.
Aren't you tired of sucking? Aren't you tired of that as a Bears fan? As this texter, 4 playoff appearances in 23 damn years.
That's almost hard to do.
4 in 20 in a league that can't wait for you to go 8-8. Can't wait. You can go 8-8. You're a couple of bounces away from going 10-6. I'm gonna get my Wani on right now. Seriously.
This is a texter who doesn't quite understand what you're saying. Goff, how did you feel about the Bears between 82 and 84?
I was 2-4 in those years, so I was pooping myself and throwing up on things.
Sort of like Ditka does. So basically, you were Ditka.
I was little black coach.
Shut up. In Janesville, Wisconsin, it's Mike on the score.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Hey, Mike. You all right, buddy? You get some sleep today? You okay? You've been driving since this morning?
It's all good. It's all good. I was just holding for so long, I had to set my alarm. I'm all good, though.
Ain't that something?
Hey, guys, a couple of points. Number one,
we don't make you hold, by the way.
I know. You guys are popular. Joe, great talk.
Appreciate you.
I just got 2 points to make.
What you got?
And it's really, really simple. I'm 55 years old. Do the math. I was born in 1962. And I can only recall one quarterback. And that's Jim McMahon. That was worth his weight in gold.
But he wasn't that good, you know. You know Jim McMahon. You know he wasn't very good.
Jay Cutler was better than him.
Yeah, Jay Cutler's way better.
Chris Chandler's season was pretty damn good.
Eric Kramer in '95 was better.
No, I was thinking of Eric Kramer. Yeah. I'm sorry, Eric Kramer. Yeah. With Jeff Graham and Curtis Conway, 2,000-yard receivers that year. Yep.
Great point. And I love the stats, right? But I'm not going to get into like granular details about what's going on today. I think my last point I want to make is really simple. Man. It starts at the top of the organization.
Oh, don't do this. Don't be this guy.
You're going to fire off a shot at Ginny? You're going to fire off at Virginia McCaskey?
Why come nobody talks McCaskies?
Take a look around.
Virginia has taken more stray arrows by people in this city. Like, at some point, it's not on her, right?
Yeah, and
right?
And they're not selling the team.
I'm not going to say it's
Sweaty
her.
Teddy?
But he doesn't.
I'm going to say it's George.
Okay, what do
you want him to do?
What did George do?
What do you want him to do?
Well, I want him to take a look around, take some notes. Take some notes from the Hawks. Take some notes from the Cubs.
Take some
notes from
notes?
Jerry Reinsdorf. They got to commit.
Commit to what?
The Indian?
And how? What do you want George to do?
He just signed an up-and-coming GM. He just signed a young GM.
What do you say? We got to give him time.
No.
Yes, you got to let him hire a coach. Let the GM hire his coach.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. I absolutely agree with that statement. John Fox, to me,
all right, don't worry. Okay. But what do you want George McCaskey to do?
I want him to take some notes.
No, seriously. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, taking notes from the Cubs and the Hawks, that means nothing.
What do you want him to do?
Like take notes on championship winning? In different sports?
Forget notes.
On building a sustainable foundation.
What do you listen?
He hired a GM.
If right now he would do 3 things you could tell him to do, what would you tell him to do?
Fire John Fox, 1.
Okay, that's not his job. That's the general manager's job. You don't want
who he just hired.
If you want an owner firing coaches, you're going to throw your organization into chaos.
But guys, these guys are cashing some big checks.
It's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
The
NFL's a big business.
The Bears are worth $3 billion.
They're worth technically about 2.46 if you look it up. Close enough, though. But point is this. Virginia McCaskey's worth about $1.4 billion.
Okay, again, let's get back to the question. What are the 3 things you could force George McCaskey to do? Right now, Mike in Janesville, we pass a rule that George McCaskey must do these 3 things. The first thing you said was you want the owner to fire a coach. That's idiocy. So you got 2 more left.
Well, then have the owner talk to our new GM and nudge John Fox.
So again, so now we're on. You just burned. You burned two things.
Yeah, your wishes.
After being specifically told
these
that
are bad wishes.
the first thing was a
Mike,
bad
these
wish.
are bad wishes as a Bears fan.
If you're on the island and the genie shows up, the genie is going to think you're an idiot.
And you're going to start humping
Guys,
Wilson.
You got to give me a little bit of a break here.
No,
I'm
we're
up here in Cheeseland surrounded by...
We're on. No,
Mikey.
Come on. We're on 3.
You're better than that, Mike.
We're on 3 now.
All right. If I'm McCaskey?
No. If you're Mike in Janesville, Wisconsin, and you were the Bears czar, and you were giving orders to George McCaskey,
we gave you 3 things.
Who you singled out, by the way.
You singled out George McCaskey,
right.
and just the first thing you said was fire John Fox. We pointed out that's probably a bad move to have an owner fire a coach. So your second choice was to have him force the firing of John Fox, which is essentially the same thing. So now you burned 2 things. We're on to 3.
You're on your last one, Mike.
Last one then. If you don't think you should pick up the phone and have a conversation with Wirtz or Ricketts or Ryan,
but Mike, again, forget the having the conversation thing.
I'm sure they.
What do you want him to do for the Bears?
I want him to put a winning team on the field.
Okay, but again, here you're
look at Danny's
3 things. You got one.
Welcome to the Bears season,
you have one more thing left. What should he actually do? If he makes this phone call, what would you want him to hear from Wirtz or Reinsdorf? What would you want him to? What, win the World Series? Win a Stanley? What do you think is going to happen in those conversations?
All right. One last point.
No, answer the third thing.
Okay. If you're going to put a team on the field,
he won't answer it.
You got to have a pillar, and the Bears don't have a pillar. Like the Bulls had.
Like Ron Coomer?
A pillar? Like
my pillar?
My pillar?
MyPillar.com.
Ron Coomer from
and Lester and Bryant. The Hawks had Kane and Cave.
Well, hold on, Mike. Mitchell Trubisky, Leonard Floyd. Like, they've drafted young players over the last couple of years.
So what are you saying to me, that I'm putting the horse before the cart here? I got to wait a
while? I'm just trying to figure out what you want. The owner, you singled out the owner, the CEO, and you don't seem to know why you did so.
Well, he's the one in charge. Every major.
All right, that's it. I think Tanny just opened the old Bombay doors.
Oh, are you gonna play "You Dropped a Bomb on Me"? Oh, I thought you were about to hit me with it. You dropped a bomb on me, baby.
All right, Mike. For enduring that, somebody is going to have Cubs tickets.
There you go.
Next on The Score.